Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Monkey Around Reviews. Today we have the Fetanten Indoor-Outdoor Wireless Weather Station. It's got a large 5.7-inch LCD screen. It can show the temperature, it can show the max and the min trends for the day. It has a clock, a calendar, and even has an alarm clock. Now it has two pieces in it. It has the indoor piece with the big screen, and it has an outdoor piece that wirelessly sends information to here. So let's go ahead and open up this white box and we'll see what's inside of it. So as we see, it's just a standard white box, nothing inside, nothing written on it. But as we open it, that's where we start to see what's in here. So this will be the main temperature piece, or the screen to the weather center, I guess you could say. So once again, a large 5.7-inch screen. This is not the real information on here, but you can kind of see how it's going to look once we get it batteried up and turned on. It's got a base here so it can stand. On the back here we have some buttons. It says mode, alarm, plus, minus, and channel. And on the top it says snooze and light. So we'll just lay this here for right now. What else we got in here? Got an instruction manual. And then this is the outdoor attachment. Open this up. So this has a small screen on it that shows you the temperature and what channel it is to send the information to the large unit. It can stand all on its own. It's got a nice size base, but it also has a hole on the back so you can put a screw or nail in the wall and hang it on there outside. The back of this says it takes 2 AAA batteries. And if we take off the back of this, it shows in here 3 AA batteries go in there. So 3 AA batteries for this, 2 AAA batteries for this. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some batteries and we'll power it up. Alright, so I'm back. I got the batteries and I read the instructions a little bit. So I was not aware, but there are 2 buttons also on the back of here just above the batteries. One switches this from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and the other one lets you switch the 3 zones, 1, 2, or 3, for the RF channel for these to talk in case there's any interference. So the first thing we're going to do, because it says to do this one first, I'm going to put the 2 batteries in, and then it should turn on. We're going to, well, it's already set to Fahrenheit and it's already set to channel 1, so we're going to leave it like that. But if we wanted to change it, once again, there's 2 buttons on the back to go between Fahrenheit and Celsius and through all the channels. But we'll try channel 1 and we'll leave it at Fahrenheit since I am in the States and that's what we use. We're going to slide the back on here. I'm going to go place this outside so we can get a different temperature outside than we will on the inside. Right now it's showing 78.8 on here, so we'll hopefully see that change once it goes outside. Be right back. Alright, so I put the transmitter outside. We saw that it said 78-ish when it was inside, so it's heating up because it's a lot hotter outside right now. So I'm now going to take the receiver and we're going to put the 3 AA batteries in. There are no buttons inside the battery compartment on this like there is on the transmitter. Batteries are in, and there you go, it turns right on. There's a nice little blue screen in the back. I guess reminds me of the Indiglo style back from the 80s. So right now it says inside it's 80.2 degrees Fahrenheit. It shows the clock is 12 o'clock. The date is 1/1. And oh, and there we go. Now it's got out the outside temperature, which it says it's 86.9 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is showing 2 different temperatures on here right now, the indoor and the outdoor. There we go, without the reflection. So we're going to let that sit there and connect for a little bit. It does show on here out with a 1 on it, so I'm guessing that's channel 1. I'm going to hit the channel button on the back, and it does change 2, 3, back to 1. So if you look up here, you'll see we're in that little house. It says 1, there's 2, there's 3, and back to 1. The second row says in, so that's obviously the indoor. So now we're going to use this mode button on the back. It says to hold it down for about 3 seconds for things to change. So I'm going to hold it, 1, 2, 3. And now it gives me the option of 12-hour or 24-hour when I hit the up and down. So we'll leave it at 12-hour because I like the 12-hour clock. I'm just going to press it again. And now it says daylight savings time on or off. So that's just with the up and down arrows again. Again, and now it's setting the clock. So it is 12:01, and it shows on here 12:03. So I'm going to go past the 12, take the 3 down to 1, put in the date. Oh, and now the language. So it's showing EN for English, GE for German, FR for French, IT for Italian, DU for Dutch, SP for Spanish, DA for Danish, and back to EN for English. And now it's set. If you take a look now, you'll see it's got the date and the time on there. I did realize that I didn't set it to AM PM, so we're going to hold this down again for 3 seconds. 12-hour off. And I probably need to bring this up to 12 again, so it's 12 PM. Yep, and now there's a PM, so I can cycle through. There we go. So now it's showing the correct time, the correct date. It's showing the temperature inside the house is 80.2 and the temperature outside the house is 86.9. So it is actually, but it's cycling through. Oh, there is an arrow that's doing kind of like this. I'm wondering if that means cycle. So let's go to this channel button. Press it again. There we go. So there's actually 4 steps. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and then channel 1 with a little arrow that circles around, which it's going to cycle through all 3 of the channels. So make sure if you only have one of the transmitters that you choose the single channel and not for it to cycle through. So now it's actually staying on the temperature. So now it's reading 92.3 degrees outside and 80.2 degrees inside. So on the top, it's saying temperature with an arrow going up like that. It actually just raised to 93.3. So I'm guessing that that means that the temperature is rising. And then on here, that says temperature with an arrow going this way and pointing right to the number. So since I'm inside, I'm guessing that that means that the temperature is steady. It hasn't gone up and it hasn't gone down. I'll check the instructions again to make sure that that is correct and that there's going to be just angles kind of showing you which direction it is. All right, so I read the instructions and I was correct. The arrow going up means increasing temperature. The arrow going straight across means constant, and the arrow kind of going down a little bit means that it's decreasing in temperature. That way when you take a look at this, you know if it's getting hotter, or if it's getting cooler, or if it's been the same since the last time that you've been looking at this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try out the alarm. So I'm going to hit the alarm button, and right now it shows 12:00 for the alarm. And there's also 2 alarms, so it's showing 12:00 for alarm 1 and alarm 2. So that's what happens when you cycle through. Press it once, it shows the alarm 1 time. Press it a second time, it's going to show you the alarm 2 time. And then press it again and it takes you back to the clock. Alright, so it's 12:07 right about now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, select the alarm button on the back until it starts flashing. And I am going to take this up to 12 p.m. and then I'm going to hit the alarm button. And I'm going to go ahead and make this 12:09 for the alarm on alarm 1, just in case, so it gives us a few seconds to test this out. Hit alarm again. Takes us to alarm 2, but we're not going to set that one. So we're just going to go right on by it. So it's 12:08. Our alarm is set for 12:09. While alarm 1 is selected, I'm going to hit the minus button, and it brings up a little symbol right here. So that means the alarm is set. Let's take it back to the clock. So it shows the alarm set right there above the seconds. I'm going to lay it down here, and in about 15 seconds, we're going to hear the alarm go off. Two more seconds. And there we go, there's the alarm. So it's not a super loud alarm. I don't think I'd be using this. Oh, it's getting faster and a little louder. So actually I was gonna say I wouldn't use this as a wake up alarm, but this actually isn't that bad sitting next to me now that it's getting faster and faster as it goes. So it actually has a nice gradual alarm to it. Starts out real slow, just beep, beep, beep. Then it gets faster. And now it's on a 4th step. So it gets faster and faster and faster. So I would actually say this might actually be a good alarm clock sitting right next to you. There is no volume control, so what the volume is what it is. But this actually, if I stop talking, is pretty loud for being right next to me. And then if I just hit this on the top, it's a snooze. And it's snooze. It also turned on the light so you can see it a lot better now with that blue. So if I just touch it now, the light comes on. Kind of hard to see in the camera though. So now that we played around with the alarm for a little bit, it gave us some time to get a temperature outside that was different from the one inside. Now when I checked the trend on this, it wasn't working that great. But after reading the handy dandy manual, it actually says right on here, the temperature trend display is not available during the first few hours of operation because it requires data that's collected during the operation. So when I first tested this, it was showing the minimum in the hundreds, and it was showing the maximum only like 1 or 2 degrees above that at 102. Well, obviously that's not the correct trend because it started at the 80 degrees when inside. So I took it back inside, cooled it down, took it back outside, heated it back up, and now we're going to see if it actually works because it's been a while, so I had some numbers to actually calculate this. So we're going to use the plus button on the back. So right now it says that it's 91.9 degrees outside and rising, and it's going to keep rising until it gets back up to around 102 that it is outside. Yes, it is about 102 degrees outside right now. The temperature inside says 78.2 and decreasing. The air conditioning's on in here, so it's going up and down. It should stay within that same one temperature, somewhere around there. So when I hit plus, it goes from 93.3, which is its right now temperature, but like I said, it's reading. Every minute it updates, and it doesn't go from what it was at to what it is exactly right now. It's, you know, it takes a while for the thermometer to rise up to its actual temperature when it's actually got a good 20 or 30 degree temperature change that I've done it to. So I hit plus, and it shows the max is 102.7. So when I took this from outside and brought it back inside, it was at 102.7. And now when I hit the button again, it goes from max to min, 65.4. I put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes so we could actually have a real change in the numbers. And as you see, when you don't hit the button every once in a while, it goes back to its normal, which right now is 93.3. So let me bring this to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. There's max, minimum, and what it is right now. And that's just by hitting the plus button on the back. Now the negative button, you can go, oh, what does that button do if you hit it? It doesn't go the other direction. The negative button goes between Fahrenheit and Celsius, as you can see as I'm hitting it right there. So if you get this and you realize that the trend's not working, give it some time. Even the manual says it should take a little over an hour for the trend to start working correctly. So don't go crazy going, it's only showing a 1 temperature change when you've only put it on for a few seconds and you start hitting that button. Give it some time. As you see, it does work. And that only took me 2 attempts because I had that issue, read the manual, and like, oh, I've got to wait. I didn't wait an hour. It's only been about a half an hour of me changing the temperature on it, but it did take a good amount of time, a good half hour for this trend feature to work. All the other features worked right out of the box, as you saw with me. We did it together for the first time. So once again, this has been Monkey Around Reviews. This has been the Fetanten Indoor-Outdoor Wireless Weather Station. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you ask so below. And as always, please make sure you subscribe.